The 15th of August 2018, San Luis, Arizona. Police enter a KFC with a search warrant. An hour later, an emergency call is made to the FBI. "We need the feds. Right now, you won't believe what we found here." What could force local police to urgently call the FBI because of an ordinary KFC? It all began 2 days earlier. August 13. A police patrol stops a pickup truck for a routine check. In the bed are 2 large plastic containers. A sniffer dog reacts to them. The officers open the containers. Inside are 239 packages, 118 kilograms of methamphetamine, 6 kilograms of cocaine, 13 kilograms of heroin, 3 kilograms of fentanyl, 3 million doses, enough to kill half the state. The driver is arrested. His name is Jesus Ivan Lopez Garcia. During the check, one strange detail comes up. In April, he bought an abandoned building for $390,000, cash the full amount at once. What kind of building? A former KFC restaurant 180 meters from the Mexican border. On the U.S. side, there are 2 rows of 6-meter fences, border patrols, surveillance cameras, motion sensors, drones. This is the most guarded border in the world, and someone bought an abandoned KFC right next to this border, paid in cash. Police immediately request a search warrant. August 15. Homeland Security agents enter the building. Empty halls, old furniture, dust. The agents carefully check every room. Offices empty. Storage rooms, nothing. Bathrooms, clean. They go into the kitchen. They examine the walls, cabinets, equipment, and then one of the agents notices something strange in the corner. In the concrete floor is a hole 20 centimeters across, about the size of a dinner plate. Someone tried to cover it up, but did it poorly. The agents begin to widen the hole. The concrete crumbles. Underneath is darkness. One of them shines a flashlight down. He drops a stone. He hears a dull thud somewhere very far below. A member of the Special Confined Spaces team puts on safety gear and starts to descend, 7 meters down the height of a 2-story house. The agent goes into the darkness, switches on his light, and sees in front of him a horizontal tunnel. Not a sewer, not a basement, not old pipes. A tunnel. Man-made, reinforced by professionals. Height 1.5 meters, width 1 meter. Wooden beams every 2 meters. Electrical wiring along the walls with light bulbs. Ventilation works, and the tunnel goes strictly south, under the border. The agent realizes the sheer audacity with horror. Someone dug a tunnel under the most guarded border in the world, straight out of a KFC. The agent starts moving through the tunnel. 50 meters, 100, 150. The tunnel continues. This is not a quick hole dug in the ground. This is an engineering project. Professional, like building a subway, only in secret. Wooden supports, electric lights, ventilation humming. Someone put months of work and millions of dollars into this, and they did it 180 meters from the most powerful army in the world, unnoticed. After 180 meters, the tunnel ends in a vertical shaft going up. By that time, Mexican police had received the coordinates. A residential house in San Luis, Rio, Colorado, an ordinary neighborhood, an ordinary street. They go inside, enter a bedroom, check the bed. Under the mattress is a hatch. They open it a ladder going down, the end of the tunnel. Agents stand on both sides of the border, one in the KFC in the U.S., the other in the bedroom in Mexico. Between them are 2 rows of fences, border patrols, surveillance cameras, motion sensors, hundreds of millions of dollars in security, and under all of it a tunnel with electricity and ventilation leading straight from the kitchen of a KFC. When experts began to analyze the construction, they were shocked. The amount of soil removed, 200 tons. Imagine 140 passenger cars. All that volume had to be taken out by hand. At a depth of 7 meters, an excavator does not work. Only shovels, crowbars, jackhammers. 200 tons of soil had to be dug up, lifted to the surface, loaded into trucks, and carried away without anyone noticing. In a city where patrols drive 24 hours a day, where cameras watch every corner, wooden supports hundreds of beams, electrical wiring for 180 meters, ventilation. All of this had to be lowered into the tunnel, installed, connected. Border Patrol specialists estimated the work time, at least 9 months of continuous labor, right under the noses of American border guards. The cost of the project, almost $5 million. With that money, you could buy a mansion, a yacht, a business. They spent it on a hole in the ground under a KFC. Because it works. And here begins the truly terrifying part. The tunnel under the KFC was not a unique case. Border Patrol statistics. Since 1990, more than 200 tunnels have been discovered on the U.S.-Mexico border. Think about that number. 200. In the San Diego area alone, since 99395 tunnels, in 2024, 30 new ones. And these are only the ones that were found. The longest one was 1.3 kilometers, from Tijuana to San Diego. It was equipped with an electric rail system with carts, an elevator at the entrance, forced ventilation, a drainage system, with an average depth of 21 meters, the height of a 7-story building, an illegal underground railway beneath the most guarded border in the world. In one of the tunnels, 5 different types of drugs were found at the same time, the first such case in San Diego's history. In March 2020, almost 600 kilograms of cocaine, 40 kilograms of methamphetamine, 8 kilograms of heroin, 1,400 kilograms of marijuana, and 1 kilogram of fentanyl were seized in a tunnel. The total street value, almost $30 million, from just one tunnel. In 2025, the U.S. ambassador to Mexico gave an interview. In the Tijuana-San Diego region, there are more than 200 active smuggling tunnels. Active, working right now. Even while you are watching this video, tons of drugs are passing through underground tunnels beneath the border. The United States cannot do anything about it. They find one tunnel, the drug lords build 10 new ones. This is an underground war, and America is losing it. Now let's talk about who builds these tunnels. The best mining engineers in Mexico. The Sinaloa cartel sends people to Durango, a mining region. There, engineers work building mines for copper and silver, world-class professionals. The cartel comes to them with an offer, $5 million for one tunnel, or we kill you and your family. Imagine, you are an engineer. You have a normal job, a family, children, and men with guns come to you, showing photos of your kids on their way to school. You cannot refuse the only tunnel engineer ever arrested in history, Felipe de Jesus Corona Verbera. He worked for El Chapo for more than 20 years and built over 100 tunnels. He started by building for El Chapo, a fake zoo with tigers and crocodiles, a cover for cartel meetings, then a fake grocery store under which there was a cartel base, and he ended by creating an underground empire along the entire border. He was caught in 2006, convicted, imprisoned, but the tunnels keep being built. The cartel simply kidnapped more engineers. And who digs out those 200 tons of soil? Slaves. The Sinaloa cartel goes through poor areas of Mexico. They offer young men jobs. You will build houses, good salary, legal work. The young man agrees. They take him to the border, lock him in a building, and say, "Dig. If you try to escape, we will kill your mother, father, sisters, brothers, everyone." And the man begins to dig. 9 months without weekends, without the right to leave the building. When authorities searched the warehouses where these people lived, the scene was horrific. A concrete floor with no furniture, old blankets trampled into the dirt, a dirty microwave with dried food inside, plastic plates with rotten leftovers, a bucket instead of a toilet in the corner, the smell of earth, sweat, and fear. These people did not leave for weeks. They slept on bags of drugs, ate next to tons of cocaine, dug 7 meters down, knowing that at any moment the tunnel could collapse and bury them alive. And do you know what the scariest part is? Even if the tunnel collapses and kills them, the cartel will simply kidnap new workers and start digging again. Because in just one night, a tunnel can move a shipment worth more than $100 million. The life of a digging slave means nothing to the cartel. Let's realize the scale of this madness. More than 200 tunnels since 1990, these are officially discovered. But authorities intercept at most 10% of smuggling. This means that in reality, there are many times more tunnels. Right now, while you are watching this video, new tunnels are being dug under the U.S.-Mexico border, dozens, maybe hundreds, right under our homes, under schools, under police stations. The United States spends billions of dollars on border fences, drones, cameras, patrols. And what happens? In January 2025, a tunnel was discovered in El Paso. It ran straight through the storm sewer system, which authorities thought was fully secure. In December 2024, a drone detected a third tunnel just that year south of Yuma. The third one, in 1 year, in one area. In June 2025, another tunnel was found 900 meters long under Otay Mesa. It had been built for months right under the noses of border agents, and it was discovered by accident when it was almost finished. But the cartels just keep digging. While authorities are filling one tunnel with concrete, 3 more are already being dug just 2 blocks away. Every night, tons of drugs worth billions of dollars pass through these tunnels. And in the morning, Americans wake up, drink coffee, and think, our border is protected. It is not. Beneath your feet lies a whole underground empire. A network of tunnels stretches along the entire border, 3,200 kilometers from the Pacific Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico. San Diego, Nogales, El Paso, Yuma, Laredo, Brownsville, under every city there are holes in the ground. Some tunnels end in warehouses, others in private houses, others in fast food restaurants. These are not random holes, this is a planned infrastructure. An underground transport system, a hidden highway for drugs along the entire American border. Let's calculate the economics. The cost of building a tunnel, $2 to $5 million. Time of work, 9 months. Risk, enormous. Sounds like a bad investment? No. One trip through a tunnel carries 5 to 7 tons of cocaine worth between $100 and $400 million. One trip pays back the construction 100 times over, and the tunnel works for months, sometimes years, until it is discovered. And when it is discovered, the cartel builds 3 new ones. The math is solid. Even if 9 out of 10 tunnels are caught, 1 will cover all the losses. This is not a business. This is a money-printing machine. And what can America do about it? Nothing. A Homeland Security investigation specialist admitted, "We are constantly looking for tunnels. Every few months we find a new one. But they are being built faster than we can discover them." One Border Patrol agent said honestly, "We can fill a found tunnel with concrete, but we know that 2 blocks away another one is already being dug. It is a cat-and-mouse game where the cat is always 1 step behind. Some tunnels are discovered by accident when the ground sinks and a crater appears. Others are found thanks to informants. Still others expose themselves when residents complain about strange sounds at night, scraping and banging under houses. But for every tunnel discovered, there are dozens that remain unnoticed. Whoever controls these tunnels controls the drug traffic of the entire U.S. West Coast, hundreds of billions of dollars a year. In recent years, a civil war has broken out inside the Sinaloa cartel because of this. In July 2024, betrayal shook the cartel. El Chapo's son kidnapped and handed over to the U.S. the 6-year-old godfather of the cartel, El Mayo. The cartel split into 2 armies. Los Chapitos against La Melliza. A full-scale war for control of the tunnels began. Within months, more than 1,000 people were killed or disappeared. Armed men dragged local mayors out of their cars in broad daylight. Next to a taco stand, a van was found with 5 bodies inside and the words "Welcome to Culiacan" written on it. Parents refused to send their children to school. Teachers were afraid to leave their homes. On October 28, a plane of the Los Chapitos cartel dropped 4 aerial bombs on enemy positions. The cartels have aircraft. They have armored trucks with turrets like the military. They have kamikaze drones loaded with explosives. In one clash, the Mexican army found a homemade armored vehicle, a pickup covered in steel plates 5 centimeters thick, with firing slots. These are not bandits. These are 2 armies fighting for an underground empire. Entire cities are paralyzed. The economy of the state has lost hundreds of millions of dollars. But the tunnels keep working, because the stakes are hundreds of billions a year. While you were watching this video, somewhere under the border a new tunnel was dug. A slave, kidnapped under the pretext of work, is digging the earth with a shovel under the threat that his family will be killed. An engineer from Durango, forced to work with a gun to his head, is drawing the plan of the next underground highway. And 20 meters above them, an American border guard patrols the surface, looking at fences, cameras, motion sensors, and thinking the border is protected. He has no idea that under his boots, in the darkness, a cart full of tons of cocaine is moving. Millions of Americans read headlines with relief about billions of dollars spent on border security, thinking the border is protected. But under their cities, at this very moment, a real underground narco empire is operating. 2 worlds, one in the light, the other in the dark, and the underground world is winning.